were not in attendance in that class, I will implore you to go and watch it on YouTube. It's there on our YouTube channel. So let's go straight to what we have today. I haven't talked about, okay, just as a form of introduction, let me quickly go through the history that we talked about and pick out important things. We talked about the names that we call library in other languages, like Latin calls it liber, library in French, and in French it also means bibliothèque, Greek, bibliotheca, and so on and so forth. We talk about the library's collection that day, which is just a library collection or a library's collection are just those things we can find in a library. We mentioned some of them to include periodicals, newspapers, manuscripts, films, maps, prints, documents, etc. Those are things you can find in a library. It's not food that you will find in a library. And under brief history, we'll talk about, excuse me, the origin of libraries. To say that appearance of library as seen as far back as 2600 BC, that is before Christ. They have been using libraries. Talk about archives that were found in some. We also talk about the discoveries by, according to Zhang, that says that in Ugarit there were private archives, and also evidence of library at Nepal and Nineveh, that is 1900 BC and 700 BC, and so on and so forth. And we said from the 15th century in the central and northern Italy. That is a question in your exam and your TME. Libraries of humanists and their enlightened patrons existed. That is in the 15th century. Very important. And it happened in Italy. And also, Tianyin Chamber, which was founded in 1561 by Fan Queen during the Ming Dynasty. We talked about that. I also said that that library contained a collection of 70,000 volumes of antique books. Oh, and lastly, that day we talked about
I said she stop it.
that the oldest
They
non-personal
don't come
library
to
on the
the
North
down of now.
America
TikTok.
continent was founded at Jersey College in Quebec
Hello. Amen.
in
Your cricket dress will not, your cricket gown will not
1535.
fear. Hello.
In 1535. So today, our main focus is to start from types of libraries. You know, we've talked about the history of library and some of the origins that we have of library. So it means that we have understanding of what library is now and how it all started. Started as far back as 1535 and also sometimes before Christ. So we have types of library. That's what we want to know now. Or a library is just library. Is a library in a school the same as a library in the street and the community? Is it the same as a library at the national level, or they are all different? So we are going to talk about types of libraries today. The first type we'll talk about is academic libraries. Please note them. These are places they come questions from. The first type of library we'll talk about is academic libraries. And what are they? They are libraries of academic institutions such as universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. The purpose of establishing these libraries is to meet the information needs of staff and students in the institutions they belong. Now, there is a question they normally ask both in TMA and exam that says that the purpose of dash library is to meet the information needs of staff and students in the institutions they belong to. That is how the question used to be. You should know that the library that meets the needs of staff and students of institutions to which the library
It's
belongs to is
academic.
academic library. Please bear it in mind because that statement, I'm very sure TMA will start very soon. You will see the question in your TMA. So as you have some of our past TMA questions here, I would have shown you guys and you see the way they normally ask it. So the library is the heart of these institutions since all they do revolve around books. Basically, this library support all academic programs offered in the institution, which means if you should go to non-library now, you will see books related to all the programs that we are doing now. Not only computer science department books will be found there, but both computer science, maths, biology, chemistry, anything, the programs we do in the school, you find books on them in the library. So once they are asking you questions about a library that deals with institutions, you should know they're talking about academic library. We have school library, so don't mix them together. Stay at the university, college, and polytechnic level. We're talking about academic libraries. And they are the main duty of academic library is to meet the needs of staff and students of the institution they belong to. So, what else is okay? And then when they say a library that is the heart of the institution it belongs to, that is academic library too. So in other words, if you go to any institution, maybe Unilag, UI, non-center in any state, and you enter into their library, what the type of library you have visited is an academic library. What are the functions of academic library? Or what function does academic library play? So let's give the floor to someone now to take us the functions of academic library and explain briefly to us. This is a class, we have to make it interactive. Okay, this is the first person I'm having here. Oluwaseun, are you available for it? I know some of us will still be at work by now, but if you are available, will you take the functions for us from here down to here? You read and give a little explanation. Is our first Oluwaseun available?
Yes, sir.
All right, over to you, ma.
Well, number one, provision of research information resources in line with the need of staff and students. Well, this means when we get to a library, an academic library, we can get research informations which we don't have close to us at that moment. So if we get to the academic library, we can get such informations from there. Then provision of information materials as required for academic programs of the parent institutions. Well, this means getting materials like our school materials, our course materials.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, we can get them there as well. Provision of resources for recreation and for personal development of users. Meaning we can get other materials which we can use personally. Yes, which we can use personally. Provision of specialized information services to appropriate sections of the larger community. Well, Well, this one is
Don't worry,
concerning the
I will explain that
community.
one. If you don't get understand,
Yeah,
move on to the next one.
yes. Cooperation with other libraries at appropriate level for improved or better information services.
Okay, go to the next one.
This one, well, what I think about this is maybe we can also go to, if it's possible, we can also go to other institutions and libraries.
Mm,
Am
okay.
I right, sir?
You have a point there. You are close, but I will explain
Yes, we
later.
can. Okay, you can go to other libraries to check out other things they have there. Maybe there are something relative with what we also have in our institution also. Provision of conducive reading environments and facilities. Well, the libraries are very conducive. Like if we want to read and our environment is noisy or disturbing, you can just go to the school library for a conducive environment.
Thank you so much, man. That was
Thank you.
wonderful. So I will not need to go through everything again. You've mentioned some important points on some of them. But one thing I want us to know about academic library is that the sole purpose is for the edification and, to meet the need of the staff and student of the institution they belong to. So non-library now is solely for non-student and the staff. So if a staff is trying to prepare a lecture on a particular topic and they need external resources to, get prepared for the lecture or seminar or anything, the staff is given or has the access to go to the library, fetch materials or resources needed, and prepare for whatsoever is preparing for. The same with a student. A student preparing for maybe an external exam or even internal exam that needs to study deeper. We need to go to the library, get resources, and prepare. So this pointer says that provision of research information resources in line with the needs of the staff and student. And don't forget that in institutions, research is always ongoing. Those of you that will be doing your projects in your 400 level, those of you that will be doing several projects even from 300 level, there are always research is going on. The library is a contributor to research process and success. So you need to consult the library during that period. Now, this point I ask you to skip the other time.
That is
Provision of specialized information services to appropriate sections of the larger community. Who is that
yes.
person? This iPhone, what's wrong now? So, what this is talking about is specialized information services to appropriate sections of the larger community is the outside world. For instance, if we have a particular material that deals with maybe a particular research, or let's use maybe some history about norm, or maybe we are talking about UI now. That if you truly want to know some things about UI, you can go to their library and get information that are specific to UI, their history, their whatever. You get the authentic information. If you go to online, this one will say this one will say that one. But if you want to get the original script, you go to the school library, you get something on that. Now that is to a larger community. The thing is, the academic library, you as a student, you have the right naturally to visit the library once you have your ID card. You understand? To borrow resources, use resources, they're all there for you as a student. So long you are a student, that's why you see in your school fees, semester registration, you always see library fee is always there. I know some of you used to argue, Why did they put it? Library that I'm not using, library that I'm not going, whether you use it or not, you pay for it. It's now left to you to visit the library or not. So if you not visit it, you graduate. That is your own headache. The school has made provision for you there to go there, read, prepare for your research, and the rest of them. So this option 4 is that it can also provide information to an outside to a larger. For instance, if UI is working on a particular research and none has a good record on that field or in that field, UI will need to come to none to get resources on that particular topic through referral, because they have to be referred. Their own library has to, maybe the person that is coming now, they will need to write a note. The person will need to come with a note from his own institution that we need this so and so book. We'll get there. There is a section of this material that shows you how to do referral service, the way you write it, the way the note looks like. When we get there, you understand better. So that is why they say cooperation with other libraries at appropriate level for improved and better information services. Because there will be some research topics that you want to dive into that your school library, so your academic library, which is the one that is your institution's library, will not be able to cater for all the resources that you need. But there will be another institution somewhere. For instance, if you want to write on medical research now, we have some libraries that are standard, made for medical researches. You need to visit them because your school library, which is your academic library, will be limited in resources for that research. Now, provision of conducive, you've explained that one, I don't need to go back to it. Now, all these are functions of the academic library. The one they normally stress most in exam and even in TMA sometimes is I think it's that point one. Provision of research and information. No. Yes. So sometimes what they do is they will list three under OBJ type of question and put one that is not part of it. So you have to be very sound in the functions that we have, and you don't need to cram them. It's a very simple thing. Provide information for research for staff and students of the school. Materials required for the programs that you are doing in the school, and some recreational and self-development materials or resources. That one is for external development. Specialized information to appropriate section of a larger community, and then to cooperate with other libraries at appropriate level for improved and better information services. And finally, conducive environment. Now, research and special libraries, or we can say research or special library, which means another name for research libraries is what? Special libraries. Please note, they used to ask question on it. Research libraries are also called dash. That is what they normally ask it. Research libraries are also called dash. Special libraries. So we are done with academic library, which is a type of library you find in your institution. That means the university or college or polytechnic that you are attending. Now let's go to research and special library. Who will take that? iPhone, your place is very noisy, so I'm not giving you. Will Madam Roots, are you available? If Ruth is available, I will ask you to take that. Or ITEL, if Ruth is not available, if ITEL is available, you can take it. If none of you is available, let's go, move on. Now, research libraries are also special libraries.
I'm available.
Okay, take it.
Research library. Research libraries are also special libraries. They are, they are purposely established to cater for persons with special and specific interests. Special libraries serve an identified group of users with common and special interests. They are privately owned and founded by the organization that established them. The resources of special libraries cover only particular subject area or group of subjects. Their subject area is usually defined from onset. The information supplied by these libraries to their patrons is usually comprehensive and up-to-date. I'm done, sir.
You are not done. Oh. Sit down.
Okay. Okay. Sir, please can you do this? I'm not seeing it.
You said?
Okay. Mainly for research, their unique collection emphasize on primary source of information like journal articles, research reports, conference proceedings, um, periodicals, up-to-date books and electronic material are also found in research libraries. Examples of research libraries are International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, that is I IITA Library, Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISER, Cultural Research Institute of Nigeria, CRIN, Center for Black and African Art Civilization, CBAAC. Is that all, sir?
So explain a bit. What do you understand by what you've just finished reading?
Okay, sir. Please can you scroll up? Let me check it. Thank you, sir.
Don't read again, no,
Like
just
what you are
explain.
trying to. Okay, sir. Like when you said a research library, it's also a special library for someone to study. Like when you research about something, you learn it and you know about it. Like it's also a library for learning also. And they are privately owned because the reason why it's privately owned is we get on it on our phone or any of our gadgets to just read along with it.
Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Research or special libraries are not libraries we should cram. Because just like the name implies, special, and you from the name research, you should know what it is all about. These are libraries originally or mainly created for specific type of research. That is why you will see that this particular library is for medical researches. This one is for agricultural researches. This one is for maybe media research. So each of them, they are already the aim of creating them is solely for dealing with a particular field of research. So when you are writing on agriculture, you cannot visit a medical uh, special library. You will not find relevant resources there needed for your project or your research. So they are special libraries. They are privately owned. Let's see some point to pick out from there. Their purpose of establishment is to cater for patrons with special and specific interests. Please note it. This is a very important point because that is the major question they normally ask on research or special libraries. The Dash libraries are purposely established to cater for patrons with special and specific interests. Those are research or special libraries. Please, when you see this question, whether in OBG or fill in the gap, your answer is research or special library. So, they are privately owned, that is another thing, and funded by the organization that established them. The resources of special libraries cover only particular subject area or group of subjects. I've mentioned that before. that if it's the one dealing with medical, you only find medical resources there. If it's the one dealing with agriculture, only agriculture related resources you find there. Their unique collection emphasize on primary sources of information like journals. Now, this is another thing we should learn here. What are primary sources of information or examples of primary sources of information are we have journal articles, research reports, conference proceedings, and periodicals. There's a question on that. That's why I stress that place. So I ask you that the following are primary sources except. So primary sources of information are journal articles, research report, conference proceedings, and periodicals. We also have secondary, but these are primary. And then they have up-to-date books and electronic materials are also found in research libraries. Then they give example. So once you see examples like International Institute of Tropical Agriculture Library, Nigeria Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISA, COCO, which is Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, that is Crane. I think that one is found in Ibadan. Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, that is CBAC. All these are special libraries because even from their names, you will know that they deal with one particular thing. So that is one thing you should know about research or special libraries. They are mainly for research purpose and focus on a particular field. Or maybe some will combine two fields together, but not many fields. Now, what are their functions? The functions and services of research or special libraries. The functions and resources of the library must be in line with the primary objective of the parent body of the library. What it means is that if the library is on agriculture, everything you find there must be able to answer questions that deals with agricultural problem. Provision of in-house training activities to new users and staff members alike. Because of the structure of that kind of library and the purpose of the library, there will be a need for educating new users when they come there. So there will be a provision for that, for user education. Provision and production of bibliographies about the, okay, let me ask us, let's brainstorm a bit. What do you understand by bibliography? Have you heard about it before? What does it mean to you? That is a general question to everybody.
Is it, sir? I think it's a religious, about religious.
Religious?
Bibliography. Okay.
It's not, no, it's not Bible.
I just saw it now.
Oh yeah, you guys should check. You are in the age of information. Check around whether you have a dictionary there, you have your. I want you to learn it yourself.
I think it means book.
No, you are talking. You are going back to the meaning of this thing now. The meaning of library.
So it's a scholarly work.
Yeah.
It's a list of books of specific authors or publishers.
Thank you. You are getting there now. That is it. So, a bibliography will list books and their author in form of the surname of the author, the first name, the title of the book, the place of publication where they published the book, and of course, the person that published the book and the year. That is what you will find in a bibliography. Listing authors. It's very important and very useful when you go to such libraries as special or research library. If you are looking for a particular author or a particular information about a particular book, you can consult their bibliography for that. Now, provision of current awareness services, which is CAS. Please know the meaning of CAS. They used to ask question on the full meaning. They used to ask question on the full meaning of CAS. Current awareness services. Let's all say it together. What's the full meaning of CAS?
Current awareness services.
Thank you. There is still another one. Apart from CAS, we'll get there too. You will see it. So, to the library clienteles, a space must be allocated for CAS in the library for the exhibition of newly published materials. Now, that current awareness service is to tell you latest books in the library. Latest books in the library. That is the work of CAS. That is from the word now. There's a current awareness. You should know that this is one that is in town now. This is one that is reigning now. This is the latest book published on this particular topic. Maybe let me say Madam Ruth just finished her own report on a particular topic that is very powerful, and this is the book she just released on the topic. In case you want to write about that topic, you need to find out ideas from her, from her own research. Now, provision, okay, that is provision of literature research, or literature search rather, when you are doing your final year project or you are just doing any random project. They do selective dissemination of information. Selective dissemination of information, SDI. That is the full meaning of SDI. Is just is close, is not close, so we relate it to CAS in one way or the other. But there's a question in your exam that they ask the difference between the CAS and the SDI. The librarian must know users' profile and send relevant information to them on their area of interest. The SDI is somehow personal, while the CAS is general. The CAS is to tell you generally about new books from new books in the library, while the SDI is to tell you new books that relate to what you are there for. For instance, if you have been going to the library for a research on maybe the reason for stillbirth among underage people, underage mothers or something. Okay, if that is your research, SDI, under SDI, when there is any book that talk about childbirth, abortion, stillbirth, or anything, SDI will provide you, they will tell you that a new book has been released under child abortion or something. That one is connected to your own purpose of going there, your research. But on a general level, any book that they just brought in that is new, that is CAS, that is current awareness service. But SDI is the one that pertains to your own research or your own purpose of visiting the library. So that is the difference between the two. Now, provision of other supportive services, such as provision of photocopying, printing, and document delivery services. That is like business center there. Now, interlibrary loans and network are also provided by special libraries. What it means is that if you are in our library now and you are doing, let's say, a medical related research, but there is a part of your research that need a book on agriculture, we need to write to, you are not the one that will write, we, the medical research library, we need to write to agriculture library to lend us that book. So the book will come from them to us, then we provide it to you, the researcher or the student that needs it. So that is interlibrary loans and network. Is Swagard holding another class in our own place there? Or who is that person making noise there? It's like we have 2 classes here now.
The person should mute now.
All right, I've muted already. So, special libraries perform some other internal and external services, such as writing of periodic reports, e.g. monthly, quarterly, or annual reports, organizing conferences, seminars, talks for users and outsiders. Those are things special libraries also do. So, having gone through all this, I know that by now you have an idea of what academic libraries are and what research or special libraries are. What is the other name for special libraries?
Research library.
Research libraries. Thank you. Which library cater for the need of its staff and students?
Academic libraries.
Thank you. Thank you. So it means we are following.
Sir, please, can you come again on this SDI?
Okay, I said there is a question they normally ask on SDI and CAS. They say the difference, what is the main difference between SDI and CAS? Then in the option, they'll put several options. The main thing is you should know that SDI is personal, while CAS is general. SDI is, they are selecting, okay, we have 100 books that just came in today, new books. They all fall under CAS, that is Current Awareness Service for all the library users. That there are new books in the library, 100 of them. That one is under CAS. But you've registered with the library when you came in that you are doing research on child pregnancy, underage pregnancy. So out of those 100 books that came in today, we have 5 of them that deals with pregnancy. So automatically they will select those 5 for you. They will recommend those 5 to you when you go to the library the next day, that we have 5 new books that talks about your research. That is SDI.
Okay,
they have
because
selected
you
them for
signed
you.
in for that particular thing.
They've selected them for you. So in the question, your answer will be that SDI is personal, while CAS is general. I will check for that question, and maybe in our next class we'll project it here for us. We don't have time again. We have less than 1 minute. Thank you for coming today. I believe you've learned something. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.